Hey, everybody, welcome to the Monday night call, the team up call. It's so good to have you present tonight because tonight's going to be fun and it's different. And I hope that you find it very invigorating because tonight what I wanted to do with all of you is to help us all start to prepare a 5-year plan. You know, a lot of you saw me post recently an image that said, if you don't know where you want to be in 5 years, then you're already there. Boom. And that's how important a 5-year plan is. And so many of us, and myself included, sometimes somebody said it today, fly by the seat of our pants. And what I know is that if we take a little time and effort and put a plan together, we're maybe not guaranteed success, but I'm going to tell you it's going to take us a whole lot further down the road. So tonight we're going to start looking at a 5-year plan with a vision board, a dream board, because I think that's a really good place to start. A dream board, a vision board. So what I want to tell you this is that, did you know that you are consciously creating your future? Right now you are. And why do I say that? Well, we used to think that environment controlled our thinking. But today we know, based on neurochemistry and quantum field and epigenetics, that it's our thinking that controls our environment. Our thinking controls our environment. And so science tells us that we have like 90,000 thoughts every single day. And most of us are just on autopilot. We get up in the morning, we do the same thing, we think the same thing, we revisit the same thing. And so then when I tell you, if you don't have a plan, 5 years from now, you'll still be getting up, thinking the same thing, doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, 90,000. And so what we need is like a clear plan and a vision that's going to make us think bigger and more expansive so that we can actually start creating a new reality for ourselves. So I have a PowerPoint, that little short one that I want to share. That's not it at all. Hang on, guys. Here we go. All right. So a vision board. Why is it so powerful? Well, a vision board, a dream board, it's a physical manifestation of your goals. It's a great, great way, friends, to get clear on your goals and create a plan for your life, okay? And it's going to motivate you to bring them into your life. And so this is not just about cutting out pictures and putting them on paper or into a collage and hoping. A dream board, a vision board is so much bigger than that, all right? This is a creative process. It's a powerful, powerful visualization tool that's going to help you narrow down the desires that you want. How? Through the power of choice and imagination. So let's just visit the power of choice here just for a second. So when I think of the power of choice, I think, here's the question. The question is not, are you worthy enough to reach your goals? The question is, are your goals worthy enough for you? So the pictures that we put on our vision board and our dream board, guys, they have to reflect what I'm going to call your most treasured desires. Remember, we talked about what is it that you want to be, what is it that you want to do, and what is it that you want to have. And so it has to be your most treasured desires, and they have to evoke some emotion from you. pictures that evoke emotion. So we're going to talk a little bit about why the power of visualization is so important. So when you're creating this dream board, this vision board, and the pictures that you put on it creates emotion of joy. They make you feel alive. They really speak to your spirit. The second part of this is that you envision, here's the key piece, you envision that you are already in possession of the pictures, the dreams, the desires that you put on this board. So without a doubt, the visual aspect of a dream board is what really drives your desire, and it sends a clear message. And where does it send that clear message to? Well, it sends the clear message to the brain. When you feel as if you're already in possession of the pictures that you put on this board, you're literally changing your neurochemistry. You're changing your neurochemistry. And science tells us that, like the subconscious mind doesn't know what's real and what's not real. And when you start to envision that you are already in possession of the pictures that you put on this board, your dreams, your desires, the subconscious mind will go to work to drive your behavior. That's why this is such a creative exercise. And the third part of this is the piece on consistency. When we put a dream board together, it's not about, you put the pictures on and then you stuff it somewhere. The whole idea is that you create this dream board, this vision board, and you look at it every single day, envisioning that you are already in possession of this dream, this want, and this desire. So let's take a look at this. Is a great outline. I found this amazing outline, and I thought this really helps us to create a vision board, a dream board in an appropriate manner. I talked about what is it that you want to be, what is it that you want to do, and what is it that you want to have, and to find images that correspond to that. So I found this diagram, and I thought this was really, really good, a good guiding diagram for us. And when Kathy posts this call later tonight, I'll also have her post this image for us so that we will have that. So tonight I asked you to come to the call with pictures of what is it that you want to be, do, and have in terms of your physicality, in terms of health, in terms of your life source. And look where they put that, right smack in the middle of this diagram. That's how important that is. And so whatever pictures that you put there, remember, has to create this incredible vision for you, energy. How do you feel about that? And again, what would you like to be, do, and have in terms of health and energy and life sources, next year and 5 years down the road? What does that look like for you? And you can get real specific here. As a matter of fact, the more specific that you get in every single area, the better the brain can interpret and start helping you to create that. So up here in the left-hand corner, wealth, prosperity, and abundance. What does that look like for you? What would you like to have in your life in terms of wealth and prosperity next year? What would you like to be experiencing in your life 5 years down the road? And up here, you could post things like, we never visit about, like, what kind of income would you like to be creating with your Juice Plus business? What would you like your 401k to look like? What does abundance look like for you? What does wealth look like for you? What does prosperity look like for you? I want you to fire up your imagination. And if you remember last week what we talked about, because last week was really the precursor to this, we talked about, Napoleon Hill said in Think and Grow Rich, desire is the starting point of all achievement. Well, what nudges desire is your imagination. You're not going to have desire for anything unless you start to fire up your imagination. And guys, this dream board, this vision board is such an excellent exercise in firing up the imagination. Remember, I want emotion, making you feel alive. Think about what stirs your heart. Start to pay attention. Pay attention to what makes you feel good and alive. The music, the pictures, everything that you see, pay attention. So I thought that next week, for next week's call, we could come prepared with some pictures for wealth, prosperity, and abundance. Take a look at this frame right here: fame, reputation, illumination. I know that I have a friend who's always posted pictures of people that she wanted to meet on her vision board. And every single picture that she has ever put on her vision board, she has met that person. It just happened. Okay. So what would fame look like for you? I think Jen and Henry would remember, I think it was Success Magazine that you could pay to have your picture on the cover of like a Success Magazine, and you could post it on a vision board, where Success Magazine was featuring you that week or that month. So think outside the box. I think that would make all of us pretty excited. And, guys, what would you like in terms of relationships with your family, with your loved one? And I got to tell you, that's a weak spot for me. I mean, and it's probably because I've never paid attention to it very much. So what would you like there? Think of family. I like this piece here, community. What kind of community would you like to support this year, next year? I see a lot of people complaining right now about this, that, and the other thing. But how are we contributing to community? What would inspire you to contribute to your community? And there's the health piece. How about creativity? I mean, what do you want to do? Do you want to learn to play the piano, ride a horse, sail a boat? Of course, speaking to Hagemans, this is like all your dreams have manifested and come true here because you focused on them. You had a vision for it. You had pictures of it. What, do you want to write a book? Do you want to start singing on stage? Do you want to learn how to paint? Do you want to learn how to do needlepoint? What does creativity look like for you? And down here, wisdom. Oh my God, knowledge. For me personally, that's learning more about the quantum field. That's learning more about neuroscience. That might be for you, might be getting, more involved spiritually. What does that look like for you? What do you want to be, do, and have in the next year, 5 years in terms of this? Purpose, passion, and career. There's your Juice Plus piece right there. There's your Juice Plus piece. Our mission of inspiring healthy living. Passion, career. What does that look like for you? And remember, whatever you put here, it's got to be something that inspires you. And then, oh my goodness, let's go to town here. Journey, opportunity, travel. Where do you want to go? I announced today on our NMD call that, I was watching this Netflix show just a couple of days ago, and I was working on this program, and I wasn't really listening. It was just noise in the background. And this gentleman says, and I happened to look up, he says in this movie to this woman, well, why don't you just travel Europe for a year? And I have to tell you, that hit me in the gut. Traveling Europe for a year? There was something about that that made me feel so alive. Guess what you're going to start seeing on my vision board? All right, so this is where we are, and this is what we're going to focus on for the next couple weeks. It's our 5-year plan that we're going to demonstrate in pictures. I thought this was a picture of a really interesting vision board, lots of pictures. Now, I mean, you can put words on your vision board, but way more pictures, because the subconscious mind thinks in pictures. The subconscious mind thinks in images. And I don't know how many of you caught this at the global conference. Lauren Slocum standing in front of her vision board. Lauren Slocum does workshops, half-day workshops around vision boards, which is something I would like to do after the first of the year. And it's Lauren who told me that on her vision board, she still does pictures of people that she wants to meet. And one of the pictures that she had on her vision board for years was Oprah Winfrey. And I think it was 3 years ago that Lauren was invited to a luncheon at Oprah Winfrey's home. That's the power, the creative power of a vision board. It will drive your behavior. Okay, so in terms of inspiring health, wellness, vitality, I'm going to tell you, this year, this picture right here, this picture right here, I have to tell you, this picture inspired me. I didn't know I was going to start doing vision board trainings, but I knew that we were going to talk about health and vision. This inspired me to start picking up first bands, okay, and then really tight bands, because my vision is that my arms and my back will look like that. And I can feel it and see it and think it and breathe it. That picture, Pamelia Parker, you inspired me to pick up and to start being a whole lot more aggressive in my physical fitness. This picture is going on my vision board. Okay, so guys, did anybody come with a picture that they might want to share in terms of health, vitality, fitness for their vision boards? Sonia, what you got for us?
Okay, excuse the noise in the background, and my pictures are so darn small. So let me
That's okay.
see how I can do this. I'm gonna put it up to, okay, I'll do the first one. I wanna dance more. I used to dance growing up, so I put that one.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Okay, this I showed to Pamelia. I'm like, is that too much? Look at that 6-pack and those arms.
It's never too much.
I'm like, that's my goal, ladies.
Okay, does it
gentlemen.
inspire you? Yes, yes, yes. Uh-huh.
Okay, and this is me flipping tires like a year and a half ago.
Whoa!
Yeah, so I gotta keep that one up. This is bad. I gotta reprint my printers. And this is like, oh, I like this one. I've had this for a while.
Oh, see, I probably wouldn't even be able to stand up on that. Good gracious. That's it. Yes, that's inspiring. Oh my gosh. So does that make you feel alive, those pictures?
This one, I love this one.
Oh,
yes, I love it.
yeah. Yeah, I have a yoga shot that I wanna put on mine too. Anybody else? Thank you, Sonia. Anybody else have any pictures of health and vibrancy and that they want to show us?
I'll share, Terry.
Okay, go ahead.
I grabbed one photo. I really liked this one. And it has a few meanings for me.
What's the meaning?
I've started running really far and I want to keep that up. My goal is to run a race in 2021 once life resumes to normal. And then she's joyful. And to me, health and vitality is also an emotion, not just how I physically look. And so I want to have more fun and be joyful in all that I do. So.
All right. This is what I want to see on your dream board. What race do you want to run in 2021?
I don't know yet. I haven't figured
Okay.
that out.
A picture of whatever that is. Okay. Pamelia wants to say.
Seriously, Abby, St. Jude's, you're running it with me.
Okay. When is that?
It's the first weekend in December, 2021. And I am doing the half marathons now.
Okay.
All right.
So you
there
can
you
do
go.
the marathon. And Sonia's doing it too. And Nancy's
Okay.
walking it.
There you
Paul
go.
is thinking about it. And we're all going to do it. Okay, quiet.
Okay. Anybody else have a picture they want to share? All right. So your assignment this week is pictures of health and vitality, things that inspire you. Okay. Also, this week, your goal is what do you want to be, do, and have in terms of abundance and prosperity. And let's do the square on career. Okay, we'll do the square on career. So I thought that tonight, because we've got about 10 more minutes, Pamelia's picture inspired me so much. That picture just blew me away. That I asked our Juice Plus Team Up Cub reporter, Judy Strickler. You guys didn't know that Judy is now officially our Juice Plus Team Up Cub reporter to interview Pamelia. Now, here's the thing, guys. Pamelia Parker did not start exercising until she was 50 years old. So, Judy, I know you have some questions of Pamelia. Take it away.
All right, great. Good to see everybody tonight, but I want to start with Pamelia, and any story can't be complete until we find out where you came from. So I'm going to ask you first to tell us where you came from, where you lived, your parents, your family, how many siblings, where you grew up, and kind of what jobs you had before you got into the Juice Plus business.
Okay, so I grew up in Darien, Connecticut, and I was the third out of 4 children. I always thought I was going to be the last until my brother came along 7 years later. And we grew up, I did maybe some sports because I had to at the school I went to. But then when I went to high school, I majored in partying and did that in college too, as well as paralegal studies. My dad was an international tax attorney. I was dad's little girl. So I was going to follow in his footsteps, and being a paralegal was as close as I was going to get to him. And grew up with animals, rode horses, and I had a job sending all the trades to the floor when they used to type them in. We'd send them around, and I had a job as a receptionist. And one day someone asked me to do something on the computer, and I was like, show me how. And I fell in love with computers. I was visual. So all my jobs after that had something to do with being on the computers. So I'm a geek at heart. I may have a degree in paralegal studies, but I'm a geek at heart.
Well, we appreciate you being in the computers with this business. We love all the work you do for us. So my next question is, when did you first realize that you really needed to make a change? When was that?
So it really wasn't, well, I just have to tell you one little thing. So I made up a story long ago. A woman, went and did aerobics class with my sister, and the woman, after about 5 minutes, told me that I was better suited for something else, and it was not aerobics. So I lived that story until I was about 48. I made fun of the people who worked out. I made fun of the people running on the roads. I thought they were crazy. But if you factors all fell into place for me. And a woman I was playing tennis with when I moved up here to Old Lyme, which is where I am now, she was trying to get me off a 6-pack of Pepsi and 3 Snickers bars a day. And it was like, okay, when you're on the tennis court, you can't have a Pepsi to hydrate, and the Snickers bar is, not going to get you going. So it really all happened within a couple months. And then I had blood work done because I said my get up and goes got up and went. And I'm only 48 and came back with an autoimmune with Hashimoto's. Other levels were off in my blood. And it was that week or the following week, I went and played a tennis match in singles, which I love tennis. And I got off the tennis court. This woman beat me in like 20 minutes. It was like 6-0, 6-0. I looked like I got out of a swimming pool and her makeup was perfect. And I drove back with my tail between my legs to my coach. And there was this truck and it said Adventure Boot Camp for Women. And I was like, okay, Parker, it's time to give up the story. It's just, and I didn't even know that's what I was doing at that time. And so I went to go do that. That's what really changed it, was just a couple of things all rolled into one. So do you want to hear about my first run?
Well, I would also know, I guess that's a lot of motivation to change, not just the game, the blood work, everything motivate you to change your lifestyle. But what was the very first thing you did when you think about exercise, food, rest, relaxation? What was the very first thing you thought, this is the best thing to do to change my lifestyle?
Well, it was changing the food. So I gave up my Snickers bar on the tennis court, and I gave up my Pepsi and I started drinking water and this Greens Plus bar, which we thought tasted good. I don't know. That's where I started it. And I started, I slowly weaned myself off the Pepsi. And, that was a 6-pack a day. I'm not exaggerating. That was the minimum. So it was the food, because I didn't know why she was saying it, but she kept saying, you really need to stop eating all that sugar. You need more energy and sugar's not going to do it. So it was the food. And then it was the Adventure Boot Camp for Women, which I almost gave up because all the women went out to warm up for a mile. And I ran to the first telephone pole and threw up. But I didn't know you weren't supposed to sprint like the whole time, and these ladies are out there. I went back and he said, oh, no, you do 1 telephone pole and you walk back tomorrow morning. And then the next morning it was 2. And that's how I got going, right? You have a goal, you take little steps.
So what inspires you to keep going? Who inspires you, or who encourages you, or what is it that you keep doing this every day and keep wanting to do more and whatever you're doing?
Well, so it's hard to pick one thing. I mean, I just love the fact that every time that I go and do something more, I inspire others, but I have people that inspire me. And every time I go and do something more, I believe in myself more. And I had stopped believing in myself. Things were slowing down, I thought. And I started to do things. So I was like, oh my God, if I can do that, I could do something else. And it was, my kids have always inspired me, saying that you're doing such a great job. You're doing wonderful. And my coach at CrossFit. So I went from boot camp to another gym, and then I went to CrossFit, which I thought was a cult. That was something I was never going to do either, right? Because those people were crazy. So here I am, crazy Pamelia. And he's an ultra runner. And Henry, we were on the boat one day, and this all comes together. Henry bought the boat that I grew up sailing on. Henry and Jen did. And we were sailing from Newport back here to her new home in Lyme. And my boss was calling, yelling at me. And Henry and I were talking about what he did. And I was like, oh my God, that's another, network marketing. And he's like, tell me your story. And I did. And he's like, well, this is what it is. I know, getting fast. But I just listened, and that was it. I said, I'm going to do this. Here's a way that I can eat better. And I quit my job a month later. I just walked out. My boss was screaming at me in the house one day when my husband walked in, and he knew this man. He's like, that's it, you're done. So every time I do something, I get more confidence that I can do more. And look at the people on the screen that I'm surrounded by. So I have to show you something, okay? So this is some of my bling. I did not
Oh,
have
wow.
a medal until I turned 50. But each one of these has a story behind it. You know, one is my first race, one is my first half marathon. So,
Well, Pamelia, my last question to you is
Sorry.
this. What if somebody took your Juice Plus away?
oh my God, I would just fly down to Texas because there's a ton of you there. I would drive up to Rhode Island and go to Gina. I would fly down to Florida and get it from Jen and Henry. Like, you can't. I had someone ask me today, said, I want to talk to you about the Shred and the Juice Plus. And I was like, of course I'd love to talk to you. I won't go a day without it, which I won't. Can I show you my other bling though?
Sure.
These are my St. Jude's. I did 2 marathons
Wow.
and a half marathon. I have raised over $10,000 for St. Jude's. So not only do I get to race and see what I can do, but I get to give back. And this company has been my vehicle to be able to give back.
Well, thank you, Pamelia, so much for sharing all of that information with us. And Terri, thank you for allowing Pamelia to share her story.
Well, thank you, Judy. Thank you for doing such a good job. And Pamelia, I want to see on your vision board, how much money do you want to raise this year?
Well, so my goal, so I went as I think I went as a platinum this year. So it'll actually be for the year after. So I have to raise over 5,000 for them.
Okay, and so whatever it is, that's your
2021.
community contribution. Put that in dollar signs and a comma, put that on your vision board.
Yep.
That'll motivate you. That'll motivate you, all of us. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this tonight. Thank you for being here. Next week, we're talking cha-ching, cha-ching. What does abundance look like to you? Take care. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Terri.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Pamelia. Thank you, Judy.